Hello and welcome to Auspol Explained, where I find literally any excuse to talk about Australian politics. I'm David, your curly-haired host as always, and today's episode is about Australian Olympians who turned into politicians later in life. Australians love sport, as I was told by everyone more popular than me in high school. So much so that finding a politician in Australia who was a professional athlete before entering politics is like shooting fish in a barrel, only the barrel is filled with footballs and cricket bats. Many iconic sports people have gone from representing Australia on the field to representing Australians in Parliament. However, being an Olympian is a little bit more of an exclusive achievement because, well, they don't include all the sports. Like, for example, lawn bowls, which I unironically believe is the best sport in the world. I will die on this hill. This is not a joke. My Bucks party was literally just lawn bowls. Nothing else. That's it. Still, Australia has a long history of professional Olympians turning into politicians that goes back well over 100 years, almost to the very beginning of the modern Olympics itself. So here's the internet's favourite thing, a numbered list. Here are 10 Aussie Olympians who are also politicians. Number 10, Dawn Fraser. She is one of the most famous Australian swimmers. She is iconic and also one of Australia's most successful swimmers as well. She has 8 Olympic medals, 4 gold and 4 silver spread across the 1956 Melbourne, 1960 Rome and 1964 Tokyo Olympic Games. She also became the first of 4 swimmers in Olympic history to have won individual gold medals for the same event at 3 successive Olympics, winning the 100 meters freestyle 3 times in a row. She also has 6 gold and 1 silver medal from the British Empire and Commonwealth Games, which is what the Commonwealth Games were called back when she competed in 1958 in Cardiff and in 1962 in Perth. She became the first woman to swim the 100 meters freestyle in less than a minute in 1962, and her record of 58.9 seconds would remain unbroken for a decade. But less well known compared to her swimming career is her time in the New South Wales Parliament as an independent representing the seat of Balmain from 1988 to 1991, when the seat was abolished. Also, fun fact, the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, she was accused of stealing an Olympic flag from outside the Emperor's palace, but she denied the claim. She said that the moat was dirty, and there was no way that she would have been swimming in such filthy water, let alone even touched it. Ugh. Remember that anecdote? We'll circle back to that. Number 9, Nova Peris. She competed in the 1996 Atlanta Olympics, where she won gold in the women's field hockey, becoming the first Aboriginal Australian to win an Olympic gold medal. She also won gold in the 1998 Commonwealth Games for the 200 metre sprint and the 4 times 100 metre relay. While she also represented Australia in the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games for running and relay, she didn't win a medal. But hey, just getting to the Olympics is a huge achievement in itself. I'm not going to knock that, and neither should you. In 2013, Peris was elected as a senator for the Northern Territory for the Labor Party, making her the first Indigenous woman elected to the federal parliament. She then retired in 2016. Number 8, Zally Stel. She won bronze for Australia in alpine skiing at the 1998 Nagano Winter Olympics. There she became both Australia's first individual and also female medalist at a Winter Olympics. That's right, Australia competes in the Winter Olympics. You'd be forgiven for having never noticed that, because despite the fact we've been going since 1936, we have won a total of 19 medals in nearly a century. Zally Stel, unlike me, isn't afraid of the temperature going below 20 degrees, and so her bronze medal means that she has won 1/6 of Australia's total bronze medal wins in Winter Olympic history. Yeah, we just don't do Winter Olympics very well, I guess. She first competed in the 1992 Albertville Winter Olympics and retired after the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Olympics. She also got gold in the 1999 World Ski Championships. As for politics, well, Stegel is an independent, representing the seat of Warringah since 2019, when she defeated the former Prime Minister Tony Abbott, who had held the seat for 25 years. She was re-elected in 2022. Number 7. Wilfred Kent-Hughes. We're going back in time here a bit. He represented Australia in the 1920 Antwerp Olympics for the 110 metre and 400 metre hurdles. He didn't get any medals, but came 5th in the semi-final for the 400 metre race. Look, while he wasn't particularly successful, I'm including him because, unlike Dawn Fraser, he did actually steal an Olympic flag. He just fully confessed that he did it. But the thing is, right, this was not just any flag. The Olympics' iconic 5-ring flag was designed in 1913, but it was first raised officially during those 1920 games. There were many decorating the road leading to the stadium, and Kent-Hughes just grabbed one afterwards and put it in his luggage when he left. He stole one of the first Olympic flags in history. What a souvenir! He then served in the seat of Kew for the Victorian State Parliament from 1927 to 1949, where he represented the Nationalist, United Australia and Liberal Party, depending on which time period we pick out. He then changed to the division of Chisholm in the Federal Parliament from 1949 until 1970, where he represented the Liberal Party, and also became a minister under Robert Menzies. Now, this next story is not about the Olympics, but I do need to include it because it is just a kind of weird, and if I don't mention it, someone's going to point it out. So basically, right, his uncle visited Italy in 1926 and wrote him some postcards praising Mussolini and saying, it's amazing, there's no unemployed people in Italy that he could see. And this was enough to lead Wilfred Kent-Hughes into writing 4 articles in 1933 saying that he proudly was a fascist. He thought that was a great idea. But the thing is, right, both his contemporaries and his biographer after the fact, they believed he did not actually understand what fascism was. Like, he was going off vibes. He just thought it was cool and didn't do any research. Like, if you read it, he's clearly not understanding what that actually means. So in 1937, he really heavily backpedaled when people started bringing it up to be like, hey, remember the time you did that? And he said, no, I never said that. Please ignore the fact that those articles have my name attached to them. He managed to overcome the hurdle, pun intended, of endorsing fascism and continued to have a lengthy political career spanning 43 years. When he died, his obituaries would focus heavily on his time in politics, his military service, and his sporting career, and mostly just tried to skip over that embarrassing thing about the fascism. Yeah, just to remind you, this is literally a numbered list of Olympians that have then gone into politics in Australia. There are 2 criteria for being on this list. That's it. Being on a list isn't always a good thing. Number 6, Daniel Rapach. Gosh, I sure hope I said his name correctly. He competed in 4 Olympic Games in men's shooting for the 50-metre pistol and 10-metre air pistol, though he did not win any medals in any of those events. However, he did win 3 gold in the 2006 Melbourne, 2014 Glasgow and 2018 Gold Coast Commonwealth Games, and 3 bronze as well across the 2006 Melbourne, 2010 Delhi and 2014 Glasgow Games. Again, just getting to the Olympics is a massive achievement, and speaking of massive, he is massive. He's 6'8". That's a bit over 2 meters tall. Like, he towers above Anthony Albanese, which he would be standing next to because in 2022 at the federal election, he became the member for Hunter, New South Wales, representing the Labor Party. Number 5, Ron Clark. He was a long-distance runner who got bronze in the 1964 Tokyo Olympics for the 10,000-meter race, as well as silver for the 3 miles in 1962 and 1966 Commonwealth Games, silver for 6 miles in 1966, and silver again in 1970 for the 10,000-meter race. Man loved to run. Also, remember when races used to be in miles and not meters? Me neither. I learned a new thing just researching this. He also then set 17 world records. Man really did love to run. As for his political career, well, he became the mayor of the Gold Coast in Queensland from 2004 until 2012. So yeah, it's not just state and federal members, we've got a few local politicians as well. Speaking of, number 4, Sir Francis Joseph Edmund Beaurepaire, aka Frank. This is the earliest Olympian turned politician that I'm aware of, and his career goes all the way back to the 4th time the modern Olympics had been held, the 1908 London Olympics. And what sport is more Australian other than swimming? Only the thing is, he didn't represent Australia, he represented Australasia, because back then, New Zealand and Australia competed together as Australasia like the best friends that we are and have always been. Love you, New Zealand. Please change your flag so it's easier for me to tell who is winning in a race. Frank won silver for the 400 meter and bronze for the 1500 meter in swimming, which, while labelled as freestyle, was actually whatever kind of swimming stroke you wanted, because the past Olympics were just wild. They were like wacky. This was also the first Olympics that they built a dedicated pool for swimming in, because before then, you'd just swim in the ocean. Or a river, like the Seine, when Paris hosted it in 1900. Could you imagine athletes having to swim in the Seine? Gross. Frank was banned temporarily, so he couldn't compete in 1912 in Stockholm, but was back in 1920 for Antwerp, where he won another silver and bronze, though, as far as I'm aware, he did not steal one of the original Olympic flags, like Wilfred Kent-Hughes, and then he was back again in 1924, when Paris hosted it again. Once again, he got silver and bronze. Despite never winning gold at the Olympics, he did actually manage to set 15 world records in swimming in other competitions. He then went on to become the 66th Lord Mayor of Melbourne in 1940 until 1942, when he then became a member of Victoria's Legislative Council, where he served for another 10 years. Number 3, Lilly Tesh. She's represented Australia at the Paralympics for wheelchair basketball and mixed two-person sailing. She broke her back when she was 19, becoming an incomplete paraplegic. Tesh went to 7 Paralympics, starting in 1992 at Barcelona. She got her first medal in the year 2000 at Sydney with silver for basketball, and then got another silver in 2004 in Athens, a bronze in 2008 at Beijing, but then switched over to sailing, where she got a gold in 2012 at London and another gold in 2016 in Rio. A woman of many skills. Not many people go to several Olympic or Paralympic Games unless excel in multiple sports. Since 2017, she's been the member for Gosford for the New South Wales Parliament, and in 2023 became the Parliamentary Secretary for Disability Inclusion, Families and Communities under the Minns Labor government. Number 2, John Landy. He was a runner who represented Australia in 1952 in Helsinki and again in 1956 in Melbourne. In 1954, he became the second man to run a mile in under 4 minutes and set a world record for speed that would remain unbroken for 3 years. Later that year, he ran against Roger Bannister, the first man in history to do a sub 4-minute mile. They raced at the British Empire and Commonwealth Games in Vancouver. Remember the weird name? While the name Roger Bannister probably doesn't ring any bells for you, it certainly doesn't for me, I don't know, unless you're like a big running sports fan, it was like a big deal at the time, as you could expect. They were the 2 fastest mile-long races in the world at that point, so the competition was given multiple names like the Miracle Mile, the Race of the Century, and the Dream Race. Which is where I race, in my dreams. I don't do it in real life. Bannister won with gold, Landy got silver. Now, technically, he wasn't a politician, but in 2001, he became the 26th Governor of Victoria. That is definitely still politics and Parliament related, and if you think that doesn't count, well, you can argue with me in the comments section. The Governor is one of the constitutional elements that comprises the Parliament of Victoria, so hey, it's a little bit of variety, okay? He retired being the Governor in 2006. Number 1, Matt Cowdrey. Now, I have not been doing this in order of success, but this guy I really have saved literally the best for last. He is the most successful Paralympic swimmer Australia has ever produced. He is one of the most successful Olympians Australia has ever produced, be that summer, winter, or Paralympic, in any sport at all. Just across the board. He blows everyone else out of the water, pun intended. Part of his left arm is missing due to a congenital amputation. It stops just below the elbow. He was born in 1988 and was swimming competitively from 1994 onwards. He set a world record when he was only 13. He has competed at 3 Paralympics, with his first being Athens in 2004 when he was only 15, where he won 3 gold medals. He also competed in Beijing in 2008 and London in 2012, doing freestyle, medley, breaststroke and butterfly. When Cowdrey retired in 2015, he'd set 5 world records, 5 Paralympic records and 9 short course world records. He'd also won a total of 57 international medals. That includes 23 gold at World Championships and 3 gold from the Commonwealth Games, and his Paralympic medals are 13 gold, 7 silver and 3 bronze. Ian Thorpe, for comparison, has 48 international medals, 5 gold, 3 silver and a bronze from the Olympics, for a total of 9 versus Cowdrey's 23 Paralympic medals. Emma McKeown, also an iconic Aussie swimmer, has more international medals overall with over 70, but as I record this, she has 12 Olympic medals, 6 gold, 2 silver, 4 bronze. So yeah, you can see how Cowdrey is undeniably one of the most awarded and successful Olympians, and it's not a surprise that he was inducted in the Sport Australia Hall of Fame in 2019. And unsurprisingly, given the nature of this numbered list, he also is a Member of Parliament. He's been the member for Cullen in the South Australian Parliament since 2018 as a member of the Liberal Party. He also managed to increase his margin in the 2022 South Australian state election despite a landslide victory for Labor. And there you have it. This, of course, is not an exhaustive list. There are, of course, many more politicians who have represented Australia at the Olympics in the past, and there will be many more in the future. Will Emma McKeown or Jessica Fox be the Prime Minister in 15 years' time? Who knows? Comment down below which athlete you think would do a good job in politics, so I can learn more than just a handful of names of athletes. Will surprise none of you that I am not a sporty person, but I love talking about politics. I hope that you've enjoyed learning a little bit about the Venn diagram of sports and politics in Australia. I love me a Venn diagram. And I also would love you if you subscribed to me now. Do it, please. And also like and share. And if you're really feeling up for it, feel free to support me on Patreon. I always appreciate that. Maybe one day I can use it to buy a fake gold medal off eBay and pretend that I am capable of doing sports. Who knows? Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.